Now, what is important? What are the components of an application? Let's first understand this, that what, like whenever we use Netflix, right? What are the components which are important for this application? So Netflix is an application, and what are the components of this applications? When I say component, I am talking about IT infrastructure components. Okay, I am talking about IT infrastructure component. I'm not talking about, components of anything else. It's all about infrastructure and application. Always remember, guys, that your entire application is always divided into three parts. Okay, so whether you pick Facebook application or WhatsApp or your Netflix, any application in the world will have three parts. Every day you use Thinkcloudly application, you watch your recorded sessions. So those that particular Thinkcloudly application as well is divided into three main parts. Always remember this. What are the three parts? First one is the front end. Second is the back end. And the last one is the database. Okay. Front end means what a user sees. Okay. So when you open Thinkcloudly, you see button over there, you see some links over there, you see a video. So those are part of the front end. Okay. So front end means a face of your application. So when we say Netflix, right? When we say Netflix application, so Netflix is the application which has the front end, that is the mobile application. In your mobile, you open Netflix, you watch movies, that is front end. Now, all the information is always stored in database. Okay, so let's say that username, my name is Naman Jain, so my name is stored in database. Whichever movie you watch on Netflix, that is stored in the database. Every data you see on a Netflix application, that gets stored in the database. Okay, so database is really very important for any application. Let's imagine that you have Zelle, you use Zelle or Cash App. They have a transaction history. Transaction history is also maintained in database. All the data which you want to sustain, that is always kept inside database. Your recent balance, whatever transaction history you want to see, movies, everything. YouTube has movies, right? So I mean, it has videos. All the videos are always saved inside database. So database always keeps data. Now what happens that when you want to basically link, you want to link the front end. Front end means where people watch movies. Let's imagine this is the Netflix application and you click on watch button. When you click on watch button, immediately a movie plays on your application. You start watching movie. You know how it happens? When you click on this button, a request goes to database, and database basically shows the movie. It pulls out the movie. Now, you must be wondering that when front end is used for the application and database is used for the storing data, then from where this backend comes into this picture? Why do we need backend? Okay. So to make your application robust and to make this application strong, backend is very, very important. Why? Because when you click on the watch button, the request goes to backend. Backend is a translator between front end and database. So it understands, okay, Naman is trying to watch a movie and he wants to watch, he wants to watch, let's imagine, Mission Impossible. So what will happen that this information will go to backend, and backend will basically pull Mission Impossible from database and will send it to front end. And finally, I am able to see my movie. Okay. So backend acts as a translator between front end and database, so that our request doesn't go directly to database and there is a proper backend translator in between, which basically does all these operations. Having backend is very important because front end can never send the request directly to database. Always remember this, that front end cannot send the request directly to backend to database. So we need the backend in between. Okay. Now, I hope everyone understands that for any application, whether you use WhatsApp, whether you use Facebook, whether you use Thinkcloudly, whether you use Netflix, whether you use any other application in the world, that has three components: front end, back end, and database. Okay. Now, when we say multi-tier architecture, or we say three-tier architecture, the idea is that we need servers for front end, we need servers for backend, and we need servers for database. So how many tiers are there? Tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. That is why this architecture is known as three-tier architecture. Architecture we are going to discuss in a next slide. Okay. Yeah. So architecture we are going to discuss in the next slide, but essentially you have to understand that any application is made up of three parts: front end, back end, and database. Now, when the application is made up of three parts, all these layers, where you can call it layer or someone can call it as tier. It's up to you what do you want to call. Okay. Let me spell tier so that you guys can understand what I'm saying. Tier, T-I-E-R. Okay, some people say tire or some people say tier. It depends on the accent you use. So over here, when we say tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, that is why it is known as three-tier architecture or multi-tier architecture. Now see, we have to understand one thing. All these tier cannot run in the air. It cannot run in the air. Okay, it doesn't run in the atmosphere. It runs on servers. Okay, so to run front end, we need servers. Okay, to run backend, we need servers, and to have a database, we need servers. Simple. All these tiers run on a server. Okay, and server, when you have servers, it means you are talking about the infrastructure. Okay, okay, let's imagine there is a patient in the hospital. There is a patient. Patient needs to be operated. Okay, needs to be operated. He will be operated in operation theater, that is OT, right? Patient has to be operated in operation theater. Okay, so basically before I was dropped, what I was discussing, that we need these servers to run the applications. Okay, so we have these applications front end, I mean, this is one application, but these are the different components of one single application. So front end is one component, back end is another component, and database is another component. And all these components require dedicated servers to run. Okay, so you have the website runs on some server. There's a backend application which runs on the server, and the database, it always runs on a server. Okay, so now when we basically so I hope everyone understands that servers are very important for each components. That is what essentially I wanted to pass on to you guys, that for every stage or every tier, servers are very important. Why I'm emphasizing this, just to make sure that you guys do not forget in your interview. Okay, now let's imagine there is a home. Okay, we are trying to architect a home. Okay, so we want a room over here, we want a room over here, we want multi-story. I mean, we are designing the home, let's imagine, and we need 3 rooms. We need 1 bathroom over here, we need 1 dining hall over here. We are designing a home. When we design a home, first thing which we always take care of is the safety. Okay, that we have a proper doors which has proper locks, Okay, so we always take care of safety. Second, we always want our home to be quack proof. Like it should be a strong house, right? It should follow all the measure to prevent, any effect from earthquake. So you want your home to be strong. Okay, so whenever you design, or whenever someone architect architect a home, we always make sure that there should be a proper safety, and our house is a strong house. It can take care of storm or any natural calamity. It can take care of it. After that, we ensure that there is proper maintenance. Okay, there is proper maintenance which can be done, right? Now, whenever we create an architecture whenever we create an architecture, okay, of an application, now we need the components. Let's say we need one server for front end, another server for back end, another server for database. Let's imagine we have 3 servers for each server for each tier. So for front end, we have the server. For back end, we have the server. For database, we have the server. And all these 3 are connected together. Okay. Now, even in the IT application infrastructure, the way we think about our home, we always think about this architecture. Why? Because we want our application to be very strong. Okay, so first step is we take care of security. Okay, security is very important. So once a hacker gets into it, everything is gone. So security is very important. Otherwise, hacker can hack your database and all the data will be lost. Security is very important. Security is important for a home. For IT architecture, security is very important. We always understand that without security, our architecture is nothing. Second, we want that there should be an option of auto healing. Okay, so that's the auto healing option makes our IT architecture stronger. Okay, so over here we want our home to be strong, and we will use material which will make sure that our house always stand in all the natural calamity. Just like that, in the IT architecture or IT application, we want it to be strong. And for strong, we have some ways for auto healing, that it can auto heal the architecture. In case of any failure, it can immediately auto heal it. Okay. Third, maintenance. Maintenance is very important. Over here, we want zero maintenance. Zero maintenance means that it can take care of the infrastructure automatically with the help of auto healing, auto scaling, whatever it is, but we want zero maintenance. So these are the few points which should be addressed by our architecture, and that's what make us the good solution architect or cloud architect. If our architecture can address all these 3 points, I am a good architect. So this is what we want to learn over here, that we have to make sure security is playing a very important role to make sure our data is safe, our application is safe, and our infrastructure is safe. Strong, we make it so strong that in case of any failure, because you know that in your home, any appliance can fail anytime. Any electronic appliance can fail anytime. Just like that, IT infrastructure is the electronic machines. It can fail anytime, but there are ways for auto healing that makes it strong. After that, we do not want any maintenance. We do not want to spend on any maintenance. And that's what the cloud comes in. Cloud makes it auto healing proper, it makes it, it gives more security. It makes sure that auto healing option we make sure that we have zero maintenance. Everything is taken care by Amazon. This is what we have to address by our architecture. I hope everyone is with me and able to follow me. Now, how will these points will address? Okay, will get addressed. So one thing we know, if we talk about now AWS, that when we design an architecture in AWS, Okay, we want to design the architecture, application infrastructure architecture. If we want to design in AWS, what are the components or services important? That is what we will discuss right now. As you know that there are three parts of any application. Can anyone tell me in the chat real quick? Can anyone quickly type? What are the three components of any application which we discussed? Can anyone please tell me quickly? You guys can type in the chat.
Front end, back end, and database.
Awesome. So we have the front end, we have the back end, and we have the database. All right. Now we understood one fact that for each and every stage we need the servers. Okay. Now, when we are talking about AWS, and you guys might know this, that we need these servers. So for servers, which service we use EC2. EC2 helps us to create the servers. I hope everyone knows this. People who are joining us new, they might not know it, or the people who are with us and they have not yet joined us. So EC2 is the service which is going to help you to create the servers. So first thing we have addressed that we have our servers with us. Now second, we want security. So basically security comes with the help of VPC. I know some of you might be listening this word VPC very first time, but VPC is the virtual private cloud, which increases security, which gives the isolation to our architecture, to our infrastructure. If we want to give the isolation, we'd give with the help of VPC service. For a few of you, this might be new service, but I am telling you right now, you can imagine that if we want to, if we have a home and we want to lock this home, we need a lock, right? For any IT infrastructure, VPC acts as a lock. It basically protects our IT infrastructure from getting hacked. So VPC is important to create the isolation, for our, it's like a shield. You might have seen the movie Avengers movie where there was a shield. So VPC acts as a shield. It basically creates a shield around EC2 so that your EC2 servers, where your front end, back end, and database are running, that is safe.